You are listening to Girls in Low Places.
We're like the country music podcast that your mum banned you from listening to.
Let's go, you freak.
Who let us backstage, honestly?
Oh my God, Ozzy, how much do you love our new jingle?
Obsessed. It is obviously going to be my top listened to tune on Spotify. Talking about Spotify, only a couple of months left to really get your year listening together. Spotify Wrapped is just around the corner. And, you know, if you've been listening to some embarrassing tunes, now's the time to turn it around and listen to some cool country. If, like, perhaps, not naming any names, you've only listened to Morgan Wallen on repeat, maybe now would be a good time to listen to some other country artists. So,
Yes.
yeah. Not that it's embarrassing. I'm happy and proud that I know my top is going to be Morgan Wallen, but you know, maybe I'll try and diversify a little bit.
You stay loud and proud. Also, I feel like there is a podcast section on there. So all our Gilpers who are listening, make sure you keep listening. Do you know what? Listen to some episodes again. Just keep them going. Just keep them going round and round in your mind. Because if we are on your Spotify Wrapped, we'd love to see it. Tag us, screenshot it, let us know. So basically, I want to start this week by addressing something that we got wrong last week.
Oh, God.
Now, it's not like us to speak before we've researched something. very, very unlike us. But two things. We spoke about, not two things, actually, two things, the single from Kelsea Ballerini. We were both confused. We were like, is this about her ex-husband? What is this about? And we were kind of saying it was a little bit mid. We didn't really understand it. We didn't really understand we liked the concept. We weren't really sure what it's about. Basically, turns out all the Gilpers have corrected us. Two things is about her current relationship with Chase. And it's about when she broke up with Chase at the beginning of their relationship because she was still healing from the trauma of her past relationship.
Oh.
So it all makes so much more sense now. Like, honestly, it makes so much more sense.
It does make more sense.
I'm listening to it in a whole new light. I feel like she's really telling us about, you know, what looks like a very picture perfect relationship. Her and Chase looks like she just met him straight off the bat of her divorce, and it's all been amazing ever since. And to see that she's got some gritty real stuff, that they broke up, that he bought her flowers, that they said they weren't talking, that she was trying to figure things out, she couldn't see the wood from the trees. I mean, I just love it. I really identify with it. I'm still struggling with the trauma of my big relationship going into a slightly newer relationship, and it manifests itself in weird ways. And Kelsea has really put that into a song. And stop laughing at me.
This is such an intense intro. You haven't paused for breath?
I think it's just been very intense therapy listening to that song in a different light. And I've been like, oh my God, she wrote this for me. So I take back everything that I said about Kelsea Ballerini's new song. I rate it. I think she's really touched on something that not many other people do talk about, is the struggles of being in a new relationship when you're still grieving the old, even though you like the person an awful lot. Anyway, that's my therapy session over.
And that's the end of the podcast. Thanks so much.
Katie's now being sectioned.
Okay, well, look, I knew I liked the guy that was buying her flowers, and it turns out it was actually Chase. So I was somewhat right. But good to know what it's actually about.
You understood that we should have sided with him. Also, something else I just want to talk about from last week's episode is that the video about me talking about Zach, Brian and Brianna's relationship and the speculation, the rumours on Reddit, that has got 250k views on TikTok, and lots of people have been going wild about it. And I just feel terrible because we have now perpetuated those rumours that I don't think are true. And I feel really sorry for Brianna, and I'm sorry that I'm part of the narrative. So Girls in a Low Place. I am, but I love gossip. We had to talk about it. What do you think, Ozzy?
You had an interesting point. You'd seen it online. We're only discussing what we think everyone else is discussing. But
Exactly.
Sorry if we got that wrong.
Yeah, he has announced that Brianna is his girlfriend, like on a gig on Saturday or something, and that's what everyone was sort of like commenting on it, saying he was talking about Brianna on Saturday, and they haven't broken up, nothing, like they're still together. And I think they are still together. I think they're a great couple. I think it's just interesting when Reddit starts to explode, the things that come out. I mean, there's but things you can write anything on Reddit, but I still like to chat about it. It's still great fun to talk about, and that's why we are the girls in low places and not actual general broadcasting places, because we would not fact check at all.
Because we're reading stuff off Reddit.
The best place to get all your news. I believe it all. So a few apologies to start the episode, but we're back in. Let's make some more mistakes this week. I say, what do you want to talk about? I mean, there's been Nickelback's country album that's come out,
and then we have had the Brooks and Dunn reboot in the last few weeks announced, which
Wow.
has they've already released the Laney track, haven't they?
Yeah, it's Play Something Country. Play Something Country is such a banger.
Yeah, it's great.
Such a banger. And she's added such a layer of showbiz and thickness, and it's just like absolutely elevated that song into being a modern classic, I think. Like, such a banger. Well done, Laney. Always bringing it home.
This made me think, what artists would you like to do a country cover album? Like, who would be a dream
who's not in
artist to do a country album?
Who's not in the country sphere already, like a different genre?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think this is a very interesting question. I'd also like to pose this to the Gilpers. I think that they should write in on our TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Who would you like to see do a country cover album who isn't in this genre? I mean, who would you like, Ozzy? You tell me your thoughts.
Okay, well, obviously millennial throwback Bewitched. Where's your country album? Halfway there with the double denim. They've got some slight country bangers. Blame It on the Weatherman could be a country tune.
I feel like they're too close to country already. They're not as far away in the genre as I'd like you to be. I need you to get further away. Something abstract.
I would love an Avril Lavigne country album.
So good.
Imagine. It would be
so
amazing.
Good. You saw her at Glastonbury, right?
Yeah, best moment of my life. Ariana Grande. I think that could be amazing.
That does need to happen. We just need her to get through her Wicked promo tour, which, by the way, can't wait to go and see. Well, she's been a bit of a Jolene, hasn't she, really, recently? So,
well,
she could maybe write Jolene from Jolene's perspective.
Yeah, but, she released Yes and quite clearly she doesn't care. So, there you go.
Right, okay, my thoughts are, I would love Chapel Roan to do a country album. I think she's obviously on a wave at the moment. She doesn't really need to do a country album. I think she'll have a few more albums of what she wants to do, and then maybe she'll come back to it. But I could see her doing, maybe in her late 30s, an amazing country album. I think she's got it in her to do it. I then also think that Billie Eilish could use a few more like country beats in some of her more of her abstract housey stuff. I feel like she could do a quite fun country bop that would be unexpected. I feel like
I'm not really a fan, so as soon as she transfers into country, then I'll be giving her a listen.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Billie. Like, she's got the vocals for days, and yeah, I think she could do some really cool things with some country influences. But my main one, I must say, is Justin Bieber. Yes. I think he could do such a cool, like Morgan Wallen style, like hip hop mixed with country, kind of like heartbreaker album, and it would be unreal, and everyone would eat it up.
Yeah,
like ultimate,
unbelievable.
Also, like, he's having a baby, isn't he, at the moment? So he should have some downtime before and after that where he can just go and write a great country album. So I believe in him. Stole your joke.
I'm sure he'll be really pleased that you're setting out his schedule for him.
So your paternity leave is a Morgan Wallen style album that you must create from the Girls in Low Places. XOXO. Speaking of Justin Bieber, you showed me that guy Maddox the other day, who I like now obsessed with.
Oh my God, yeah.
What's his name? His full name?
Maddox Batson. I was listening to my Spotify New Boots, which you obviously wouldn't know what that is because you don't understand how Spotify works. But basically, it's a playlist. It's a playlist of new country tunes, and he was like top on the list, I think. So gave it a play, and I was like, who the hell is this? Sounded like quite a young voice. Anyway, I did a brief bit of digging. I think he's maybe 13 or 14. And
He looks
I think
younger.
He must have blown up on social media. Yeah, he looks really young. And turns out he's like, you know, I've gone viral. He's got a load of followers on social media, doesn't he? And he's kind of like the new country Justin Bieber.
I mean, the tween girls were going mad for him, what I saw on TikTok, like absolutely mad, like crying, screaming, throwing up. And I was like, oh my God.
Sounds a bit like us with Morgan. To be honest.
Basically us, but in our younger years. But I've never seen like a country music, you know, Aaron Carter or a country music Justin Bieber. Like I've never seen that before. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh my God, Aaron Carter, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Aaron Carter. Another R.I.P. we have to talk about is Kris Kristofferson. So sad.
I know, so sad. What an icon.
What an icon. So hot in Star is Born, the original. I mean, he was the original Bradley Cooper in Star is Born with Barbra Streisand. And I've always fancied him after that film. I feel like he really started that kind of like, or really amplified that outlaw kind of style of country. And he really has written some of the most beautifully poetic songs. It's just, yeah.
He really paved the way for so many modern country artists. Things about his life and things he's done. Like he wrote Bobby McGee for Janis Joplin, which I mentioned to you, which is wild. Loads of people don't know that.
He's penned so many amazing songs. Also, I have a really good story about him that I only heard the other day. And I was like, oh my God, that's so interesting. So he was basically working a lot of jobs before he made it. And he was having to pay, you know, he was trying to be a singer-songwriter in Nashville, couldn't make it. So he had to look after his son. I think his son was a little bit ill. So he was doing lots of different jobs. So one of the jobs was he was a janitor at Columbus Records. And so he happened to be like going past June Carter one day, or June Carter decided to go past him while he was cleaning, and he said, here's my mixtape, please give this to Johnny Cash. And she did, but it went to like the bottom of the pile. Like Johnny didn't see it, Johnny didn't pay any attention to it. Anyway, he also had another job moonlighting, working for a helicopter company. And so one day he managed to, I don't know whether he was flying the helicopter or he managed to persuade someone, but he managed to land a helicopter in Johnny Cash's backyard to say, hey, pay attention to me and listen to my mixtape. It's good. And then Johnny Cash did take attention, because you would take attention to someone who's landed a helicopter in your garden, whether that was legal or not, I don't know. And then Johnny Cash did listen to the mixtape, and then he recorded one of his songs, and the rest is history. How wild is that?
That is absolutely mad. What a story. That is how you had to make it. That's what you had to do to make it back in the day.
I feel like no one does those sort of things anymore. Like, because we all have email and things like that.
It's just upload it to TikTok.
Yeah, upload it to TikTok. You don't need to land a helicopter in anyone's garden. But still, I mean, it just says maybe some of those like upcoming artists, they just need to go and land a helicopter in someone's garden, and we'll actually get to hear them. Brilliant. I thought it was ingenious. So well done, Kris Kristofferson. An icon forever, to be honest. Yeah, he'll be honoured quite a lot, I feel, at the CMA Awards, which are in November, and Lainey Wilson has just been announced as a host of that. But Lainey Wilson has also been announced as the Friday night headliner of C2C. We've had the C2C Headliners announced. Big news for the UK. Okay, won't be putting that in our jingle. Ozzy just played an invisible trombone.
I think we should do it now. When there's a big country announcement, we need some sort of sound. We need to play my trombone sound.
I'll ask the listeners that, and let's we'll see. There's a landslide of votes not to do that. So right, C2C.
So yes, C2C has been announced. Let's go.
Lainey Wilson on the Friday, Dierks Bentley on the Saturday, Cody Johnson on the Sunday. Those are our big headliners, with lots of other exciting acts announced underneath it. Right, stop now. What do you think about the headliners? I think very strong, very strong. Really glad they got a female headliner in there this year.
Yeah, really strong. I know, I've seen a lot of comments from people saying they're really happy about it. Obviously, Lainey will be unbelievable, I think. She deserves to headline that stage, so that'll be a really good night. And then, yeah, Dirk Bentley and Cody Johnson, they've got a lot of fans and some key, they're like real core country artists who I think span the masses. So I think pretty good going. Like,
Very good.
I'm not
Very
like
good going.
the biggest, most diehard fan of Cody Johnson or Dirk Bentley, but I like them and I would go and see them. So I'm kind of intrigued to see.
My friend, she works as a real estate agent in Florida, and she told me the other day that like she was just showing this nice husband and wife around these mansions in Florida, and then she was like, oh, what do you do? And he was like, oh, I'm a country music artist. And she was like, oh, okay. Went home, didn't think about it, and then only when she was like doing the contract or something, she looked at his name fully and was like, Cody Johnson. Oh. And I was like, sorry, you were showing Cody Johnson and his wife houses and you didn't even realize until the contract was there. I mean, well, but he kind of just looks like a normal everyday guy. Like, I probably wouldn't be able to necessarily always pick Cody Johnson out of a lineup, but like his songs obviously are amazing. It's I always find with the C2C lineup, I mean, I've said this before, like I feel like it's always quite male heavy. It's always quite male focused in terms of the audience, and then we get like the other acts are kind of on smaller stages that actually like is more for our demographic, and I think sometimes that can be a shame that it's all focused to like this kind of like manly listener, and I find that in a lot of festivals in the UK it's kind of done like that. But I'm excited that we've got Lainey there showing up for the girls, and as you say, I do really like Dirks and Cody as well. And also, we've got Tucker Wetmore, we've got Shabuzi, we've got some more like modern country people coming up as well, which is going to be exciting. Didn't you say that Tyler Hubbard's going to be there as well?
Yeah, Tyler Hubbard's playing, which I'm really excited about because I'm just like a diehard Florida Georgia Line fan. But obviously we had Brian Kelly last year. And now...
Are they friends yet? Are they mates yet?
I don't know. We can talk.
Right. That's a bit. I think that's too big of a topic for us to cover. But it's quite interesting that they've done sort of like 1 year it's been one, and the next year it's been another. Like, never the twain shall meet. I also have seen that Midland, who I love. I just think they're all so hot and funny and great. And I was really looking forward to maybe trying to get an interview with them. So that's why when I saw them, they were announcing their C2C, I was like, oh my God, Midland are coming. But they've announced they're going to Berlin and I think Stockholm, and they haven't said about their UK. So I don't know whether that's they can't announce it yet or that they're just not coming to the UK part of the tour. But it's interesting to see that some artists were announcing that they were going to the Europe side of C2C, but they weren't necessarily going to be doing the UK tour, I found that interesting. I was like, wow, what does that mean? But then Balin did say that sometimes there is like politics to how and when you can announce where you're going to be, where and when. So I'm hopeful that means that Midland will be coming to the UK as well, as will other acts. But yeah, it was quite interesting to see how they're all announcing it in little fractions. But super excited for C2C. I thought it was amazing last year. I think it really stepped it up. O2 is not my favorite venue, but you can't deny that is like such a big day in the UK country scene, and it's just fantastic. It was 3 or 4 days after I'd called off my wedding that we went to that last year, and it was an emotional roller coaster. It was so soon, but I was like, there's no way missing that.
We were downing as many cocktails and gaucho as we possibly could. Had a bill of about £500.
Scream cried at Priscilla Block. It was the therapy I needed.
Oh my God, that was so good. Honestly, that was like such a highlight of my year. It was so good.
Bit of a low light of my year, but we were in different places that day. And the podcast wasn't even born. So
I know, mad. It's really when it started coming into fruition.
I know. That's where the baby was born. So Riley, Green and Ella have announced their tour.
Yes, and not only have they announced their tour, they've Ella Langley has come out to confirm that they're not dating. So we do
Stop
not need to
it.
start any more rumours on that front.
Has she actually come out and said that?
Yeah, she came out publicly and said, we're just good friends, we're not dating. Because so many people were asking the question.
I do understand. I mean, I thought it was actually quite good speculation and like marketing for them, because you kind of go on the tour being like, will they, won't they, are they, aren't they? But if she said that, then it suggests that, yeah, they're not. It suggests she's literally said it.
Suggests that she might be telling the truth.
That's, well, there you go. Riley's still on the market, guys. Yeah, we might have a new videographer soon, and it might be Riley Green. I'm kidding. I wish. I absolutely wish.
You've kept a videographer for a whole season. I'm actually quite impressed.
Yeah, I know. Also, I have to tell...
Sort of end of summer into early autumn, winter. So I'm not sure that's
a
full
it's cuffing.
Yet,
it's cuffing season for videographers, and I've decided to stick with one for now. I actually bumped into a young videographer at this club I was at on Saturday. So basically, it was my birthday over the weekend. I went out like just with my new videographer relationship. I like to call it a ferrelationship instead of a relationship, because I just feel like it's just a ferrelationship. It's like It's like feral, but with relationship.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled to hear that.
He will be. He knows I'm feral. But I basically, so we went out. I bumped in. We went to this place. It was great house music, and we both like house music. And we looked around, and everyone was like 18. But that didn't stop me from them being like, right, this venue closes at 1. It's my 34th birthday. I'm staying out and having a good time. So I like turned to someone, was like, oh, where's good to go after this? This closes at 1. And she turned to me and she went, well, all the old people go to the alley. And I was like, all the old people go to the alley? And I was like, rude. I felt attacked. I thought, in my mind's eye, I still look as young as all those 18-year-olds when I'm having a good time to house music. Do you not feel the same way?
No. I absolutely do not.
Well, anyway, I ended up going to the alley because that's where all the old people go, and had a great time. And personally, I think everyone there was a lot more relaxed and having a mad one rather than the 18-year-olds at the house music, even though at the alley we were just listening to, I don't know, Nelly and Kevin Little. Something to just note is that Julian Taylor, who you interviewed at The Long Road, his album comes out today, and it's all about unrequited love.
Well, there you go. He was quite a fella.
Was he? I don't know why I was doing something and I wasn't there, like with you at that interview point. So this was like Ozzy's moment of interviewing, and I'm yet to like fully immerse myself in that interview. But I feel like there was some unrequited love going on within the interview. Am I right or am I wrong?
No comment.
We're going to put a couple of these interviews in at the end of this episode because we think they're too good for you guys to miss out on. The other interview we're going to pop in is, and may I just say, I'd listened to a couple of songs of Caitlin Butts before we interviewed her, but I hadn't done a deep dive. And I decided the other day, I was running a bath, I thought, I'm going to have a deep dive on Caitlin Butts. Oh my God. If there's anything you guys can do today as our Gilpers listeners, if you like Lainey Wilson, you will like Caitlin Butts. If you like Casey Musgraves and Lola Kirk, you will like Caitlin Butts. She has got such an ironic, funny, great way of singing, great way of storytelling. She's a great fun person in person, as you're going to hear on this interview. I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed.
And then obviously she's really good friends with Lola Kirk, and she came on, they did their song that they do together, their duet, and that was unreal. So
where have all the cowboys gone?
I'm desperate to be best friends with them.
Cowgirls gone? Yeah, I think we are like the really budget version of Caitlin Butts and Lola Kirk.
Anything that makes you feel better.
And someone did say to me the other day that we were like the French and Saunders of country music.
Okay, don't know how I feel about that, actually. But sure, we'll take it. We'll take anything we can at this point.
anything we can. So yeah, if you definitely listen to those interviews and definitely give Caitlin Butts a little listen because she is absolutely mega. Next week we have Big Machine on, which is really exciting. So we're going to get Big Machine. For those guys who don't know who Big Machine is, I'd say they're probably the biggest string of UK country music label. So they started off in Tennessee. You were telling me, Ozzy, weren't you? You said that they are the initial label that had Taylor Swift on it. And I think Taylor Swift's dad actually has shares in Big Machine originally. And yeah, they basically made Taylor and Taylor made them in terms of a label, but then they now have an awful lot of other country music artists across the world. And then we are going to be talking to the UK sort of branch of them who have all the artists come over. They then do, I want to know what they do in a day. What happens when your Riley Greens come over, your Ella Langleys come over? What happens? Where do they go? What do they do? How does it all work out? Who's the most fun to work with? Who's the biggest diva? Who's the this? We're going to find out everything. So really looking forward to that next week. And you should too. We're going to get some good tea, I feel, and some good insight, some good industry insight. And, are we going to be allowed to ask the questions about the whole Taylor Swift Big Machine buyout? Because that is...
because we are a business podcast. Come to us with your questions about company's house, M&A, financial audit.
But I really want to know. That Taylor Swift, Scooter Braun, are they still allowed to play Taylor Swift in the office? I bet they're not.
We love capitalism.
Look, everybody wants to know more about that Taylor Swift situation, and we're going to try and find out more. We are going to be the scoop you needed.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. I'm not getting involved.
Okay, amazing. Guys, this has been such a fun episode, as usual, and we are just so thankful for you all listening. We really want to hear from you. Who do you want to do a country cover album or a country album full out that hasn't done one, who's from a different genre? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Let us know. YouTube, you tell us. We want to know. We want to feel inspired and we want to get the message to the artist. Caitlin, we are so excited to be chatting to you here at The Long Road. Who are you most excited to see who's here?
I'm excited to see, is it Dasha?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm very excited to see her. I love doing the dance. I need to fully rehearse it a little bit, but I am excited to see her. I haven't seen her live yet.
She's literally over there, look.
Shut the hell up.
That's
I love
her.
I love her.
She's having pictures of people.
I'm very excited.
Dasha, get over here. Did your boots stop working?
Get over here.
Did your truck break down? I also wonder sometimes if she ever gets bored teaching people that dance.
She doesn't seem to be. She seems very excited to do it, and I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited to see her.
Yeah. Amazing. If there was one artist that you could collaborate with, who would it be and why?
Chappell Roan. Duh. That'd be so insane.
So good.
Could you even imagine? I wouldn't look her in the eyes. I would just collab with her from afar.
But you wouldn't be face to face.
I would love to be face to face. Oh my god, I love her. She would be a really cool. We could do a Pink Pony Club, cowgirl theme thing, right?
I can see her doing a full country album at some point.
I know, right? She could totally pull it off.
She can pull it off.
So, Chappell, if you're listening. I'll never shut up about you, ever.
Who are some of your biggest musical influences that kind of led you into your country music career?
I would say the Chicks, the Wreckers. I would say Miranda Lambert, Taylor Swift, all women who played their own instruments and sang their own songs and wrote them, and seeing them on stage doing that, you see that, and whenever you can see women on stage doing those things, it makes you know that you can be that someday. And so I wanted to do it myself.
That made me emotional.
You can see it, you can be it.
I think I'm clearly on day 3 of this festival because I nearly cried at that. What's your favourite song to play and why?
Oh, I love to play You Ain't Gotta Die to Be Dead to Me because it's a big fuck you to any... Can I say fuck?
Yeah, you can fucking say fuck.
Okay, it's a big fuck you to anybody that's ever been an asshole to you, and it feels really good to sing, and it kind of it's got lots of fiddle. People I like to make people laugh and to tell people that suck to go fuck themselves.
A woman after my own heart. So when you write songs about people to go fuck themselves, do you find it difficult when that song's coming out? How do you navigate that with people in your life? Do you get nervous?
If people didn't want me to write songs and talk about them in a poor way, they shouldn't have treated me poorly. And that's a quote, I think, by Taylor Swift. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they should have treated me better. Yeah. Because I have a microphone.
Spot on. I'm going to be very nice to you.
You have this. It's fun.
What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self if she was going into the music industry now?
Oh my goodness. I would say don't listen to old men. Don't listen to their opinions because you're on your own journey and their opinions don't matter. And they're not you, and they don't know the female experience, and they don't know the different steps that you might have to take to get to where you're going or understand what complexities you might be going through. Don't listen to them because they have different expectations of what a woman should be, and I think that just go for it and sing out, Louise.
Thanks for listening. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Keep messaging us. We love getting your messages. We're so excited you're all enjoying it. And give us a like on Spotify. Follow us on social media. Tell your friends about Girls in Low Places.
Girls in Low Places. Ooh, that was good, wasn't it? Do you want to do your trombone again? Oh, God, I hope you stop doing that soon. Right, bye everyone. Have a good week. Woo!
You are listening to Girls in Low Places.
We're like the country music podcast that your mum banned you from listening to.
Let's go, you freak.
Who let us backstage, honestly?